Let's go. Ready?
So uncivilized.
Hey guys, welcome to... What are you laughing at me already for? Welcome to a little discussion video where we're going to talk about different Star Wars related topics. Maybe sometimes not even Star Wars, who knows? We're just going to, kind of like a podcast, a video podcast, where we're going to just talk and debate and be nerds, basically. So hopefully you'll stay with us for the full length of this video. Leave a comment below and talk about it with us. So let's just start talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's our subject for today then? First, episode 1.
Episode 1. So today we're going to talk about if we think theories are ruining the Star Wars movies. I think this is a very debatable topic because, like, straight off we'll say that the channel Film Theorists did a video very similar which we watched, and it got us thinking, and we just wanted to kind of have our say on this because it is interesting.
Yeah, but for those first who haven't seen the video, it basically goes along the lines of saying how everyone coming up with their own theories and getting familiar with those meant when that didn't happen, mentally you're already not going to like it no matter what that other event that happens is. It was basically, I will check now, mere exposure effect is what they call it, which we'll put a link to that video in the description below as well. But that basically explains that the more familiar you are with something, the more you like it, and the less familiar, the less likely you are to like it.
Yeah, and as we all know, there were so many theories for The Last Jedi. We had like Snoke is Plagueis or Jar Jar is Snoke. There was so many theories. Who's Rey's parents? Is she a Kenobi? Is she a Skywalker or whatever? Everybody had an answer for every question that The Force Awakens gave us. And because we didn't get any of those answers that we were familiar with or expecting, we didn't like the outcome. And if I'm being quite honest, I do think that is probably the case.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Because it is a good video. And the way it's explained is right, and it makes a lot of sense. Because, well, like I said, everyone thought she was going to be a Kenobi or a Skywalker. So either of those people would have been happy with. But is that really a good thing to have been happy about? Because if everyone predicts it, that's not really great storytelling if everyone can read your next step straight away.
But it puts the filmmakers in a difficult situation because Star Wars is such a big franchise, everybody has their opinion on it and everybody has where they want the story to go. So it feels like almost every answer has already been predicted. And because the filmmakers want to do the unexpected, they might sometimes pick the worst option.
Yeah.
Like what would have been, I think Rey being a Kenobi would have been cool, and that was what I was hoping to happen. So obviously I was disappointed when that didn't happen. And maybe Rian Johnson went, well, everyone thinks she's a Kenobi or a Skywalker, so we can't do that. Let's make it seem, at least, that her parents are no one. And I think sometimes the story can suffer because of that.
Yes, no, I definitely agree with that. But who knows, if we'd been given the Kenobi Skywalker parentage, no?
Yeah, lineage.
If she was the child of one of them, we would have been a bit like,
oh, that was so obvious.
Yeah, like, oh, 2 years of build-up just for the thing we thought of 2 minutes after watching The Force Awakens. It is that two-ended sword. Like, it's really a no-win situation. But if he hadn't gone so extreme with all of the possibilities and all the questions, one extreme difference probably would have seemed okay. But because he did it for every single question asked, that might be where it was too much.
Yeah.
That's where the theories were maybe too damaging because he had to make them all different rather than just one or two.
Yeah, like some of the mistakes I think Rian Johnson made, and I feel like it could have a lot to do with there being theories of these answers. Like one example was there were a lot of theories about how powerful is Luke going to be? Is he going to be a grey Jedi? Is he going to turn to the dark side? Because the initial Star Wars marketing posters, they had Luke on both the light side poster and the dark side poster. So that leads you to think either he turns or he's a grey Jedi. But
turns out neither.
He's just a pussy.
He may as well not be on the poster.
Yeah, he's just an old man that's too scared to do anything. So is that a case of it suffering from Rian Johnson going, I don't want to do what everyone expects me to do? And I think, yes, it was. I think it would have been way cooler to see Luke actually do something, not just, you know, project himself as a Force projection or whatever it was, and then die. That's for me the least satisfying outcome.
But because I honestly agree, but to give both sides of the argument, is Star Wars becoming too much of a what's the word? Just playing to the fans too much. Is it just trying to do too much fan service as a franchise now that, like, that's what The Force Awakens was. That was just getting everything back on track after the prequels with being so mixed. But are we kind of wanting too much of just like to see all the same things again and again rather than ever have anything new? Is that becoming a problem with Star Wars, that as a franchise we're becoming too against anything new because we enjoyed the original so much? But
yeah, but I think that's another issue, like saying that, because we had The Force Awakens mainly got criticised for being too similar to A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, especially after seeing the trailer, you know, Luke's training Rey just as Yoda training Luke, and this and that, everyone was just saying it's just going to be Empire Strikes Back rehashed basically.
Mm-hmm.
But then it wasn't. There was a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Luke didn't really train Rey, like you can say he did, but come on, it wasn't exactly like Yoda training.
Didn't even finish his training. I guess I was like,
yeah, I suppose. But yeah, but there was a lot of things that were done differently. So fans complained because of that. This time, I should have done this more like Empire and should have been a more solid middle thing that gave you bigger questions and like, you know, oh my god, Vader is Luke's father, what's he going to do in the next film?
yeah,
There wasn't anything really like that. We just had, but there definitely are questions from The Last Jedi, but it wasn't as much of a perfect middle trilogy film as Empire was. And it gets criticised both ways. If it was just like Empire, it would have been criticised, and if it was different to Empire, it's getting criticised.
Yeah.
So you can't win.
No, but I suppose the issue is the whole thing with Last Jedi bringing up new questions is they didn't answer the questions from before.
Yeah.
So that's why when you had Empire, you had those questions, but because you had answers before, then you got new questions, which is what kept you so wanting to know
you
the
were
next
satisfied
answer.
because you had answers from the previous film, but this film, Last Jedi did not answer almost any questions from The Force Awakens. The ones it did answer, it did very underwhelmingly. And again, back to our point, I think that is due to theories.
Yes.
Everyone had a better idea than Rian Johnson.
Yep.
And he was so set on being different to what everyone expected that he went with the wrong decisions. I mean, Episode 9, like we just said, there were a lot of questions asked in this film, but there's still questions to be answered from The Force Awakens. So Episode 9 has got a lot of work to do. I feel bad for J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
This is going to drive that man insane. I know the script's already been submitted and stuff, but... Whew.
But the issue as well is The Last Jedi was the longest Star Wars. So how long has this last one got to be to answer everything? Or if we find out the runtime's just over 2 hours, we know there's a lot that won't get answered.
Yeah.
But then that's where the theories come back out and go, oh, maybe they'll do this, and then we'll start basically damaging Episode 9 before that even gets any footage released or trailers. Or maybe, well, as soon as the title comes out, that's going to, suddenly the theories are going to evolve straight out from that. So
yeah, for sure. Like, even when The Last Jedi title was revealed, the theories were rolling out from that. And there were so many theories on who The Last Jedi is. When it told us all along, even the opening scroll in The Force Awakens said, The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker. Like, we know who The Last Jedi is. So, film theorists, I think, need to calm down a little on, like, especially Star Wars film theorists.
Which we are guilty of too.
Oh yeah, we have our own theories all the time. And it's all we talk about. We sit in our office, which is, this is our office by the way. Desk over there.
Cardboard boxes over there.
Yeah. And we just talk Star Wars as we're working. It's literally all we do. Sad, I know, but you know, it keeps life fun. Now we're sharing it with you guys. Anyway, so we have our own theories, but I think it needs to be toned down a little bit because it is fun to speculate and see what could be, but we always inevitably end up leading ourselves to disappointment. So I think it needs to calm down. But I don't. I'm saying that, and I'm contradicting myself in my head. And I'm like, no, but I love thinking up all these theories.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's the point of film. Film is entertainment at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be arty. It doesn't have to be the most makes you think about everything. It just has to entertain you, and part of the entertainment is something that you take away with you and you want to discuss afterwards. It's a bad film if you walk out the cinema and go, "Yeah, that was good," and then that's literally the last thing you say about it. That's what making it. So in some ways, The Last Jedi did succeed in that. Like, there's probably not been a Star Wars.
I've never talked about Star Wars. Yeah,
and still now.
It's funny because I came out of The Last Jedi like almost upset. Like, I was so devastated, and we ranted about it non-stop. Yeah, like it's been out over a month now, and we are still ranting about it. But I've still gone to the cinema and seen it 3 times.
But this is the interesting bit, which goes back to the film theorists' theory thing. The theory is the more you are put in front of something,
familiar.
The more familiar you are with something, the more you like it. And you said this to me.
Yeah.
Second time, you liked it more than the first time. Third time, you liked it more than the second time.
Yeah.
So, on that theory, another theory, keep watching it. By the 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th time, it'll be your favourite Star Wars film.
That's another interesting point, because when The Empire Strikes Back came out, it was not well received. And now it's widely well accepted to be the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show, obviously, the more it was watched, the more it was understood, and it became more popular.
I feel it does work with the prequels, and I may get killed for this, but I don't think the prequels are that bad. Yes, there's a lot of mistakes, but the overarching story,
yeah,
whatever the story is good. There's a lot of mistakes on how it was portrayed, but the story is good. And the more I've watched it, and the more I've understood it, and the more I've listened to other things and read other things about it, and understand a lot of the undertones, they are decent films.
There's actually, if anything, the prequels brought a whole lot more to Star Wars and the Star Wars universe than the originals did.
Yeah.
And when you really explore all that, the prequels are phenomenal. They're just, the movies themselves weren't delivered that well.
They were probably just made too early. If you think of the way CGI's gone, think of the way he started, it was almost like the second he knew he could do all these things with CGI, he did it. And that was it. That was his reasoning for making the prequels, was he knew special effects were now good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed to give it more time to work on everything before making it, but that's completely different.
We also need
topic.
to be thankful for that, because if it wasn't for that,
they pushed everything.
Huge advancements in filmmaking. So,
but off the point.
Yeah, but prequels, again, the more we've become familiar with them and accepted them as part of the Star Wars universe, it's, if anything, it's made the fandom so much bigger.
But think about it. When the first Star Wars came out, people would talk about it like face to face, and there probably wasn't so much hate for it. I know Empire wasn't greatly received, but it wasn't so bad. Phantom Menace was coming out. There would have been all the theories coming out for that, but the internet wasn't massive at that point like it is today.
Yeah.
Now these ones had an unrivaled level of conspiracies, theories about what would happen. So it's only going to get worse because more people can talk about it, and you can find out everyone's ideas.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to know what people would have said about Empire if the internet was around today.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting topic. Maybe even for another video to discuss how films
is the internet killing film in general.
It's the same sort of thing, really. But I mean, overall, how long have we been going? Is it time to conclude this yet? Or are we still going?
I don't know. It depends if anyone's still watching.
Anyone's still watching? Leave a comment if you are. Leave a like. Let us know. Overall, I think the internet. Again, it's another double-edged sword, because it's theories and the internet in general probably are. Websites like Rotten Tomatoes, like people look at that and they take it as like
gospel.
Yeah, and they'll go, Last Jedi's got 54%. Can't be that good. I've got to either not watch it, or I've got to join the bandwagon and tell everyone it's rubbish. Like, as huge Star Wars fans, we obviously made our own minds up. But I know a lot of people are just going, oh, they're saying it's crap, so yeah, it's obviously crap. And that is definitely hurtful to the film industry in general these days.
But then you've also got people saying it's good because not having a reason, if that makes sense. Like, they've enjoyed the build-up to it, and they enjoy the event of it, but get blown away by the event, not enjoying the film. Yeah,
it's like the film becomes a spectacle, and they're like sat there like, whoa, they come out of the cinema blown away at how... Because, let's be honest, it was an epic film. It looked beautiful. Visually, it was like... I can't think of many films that visually matched it. And then they're kind of forgetting about certain things. Very poor writing decisions, and... I'm not going to... This video isn't to rant about The Last Jedi, but yeah, you get the point. So, I think we'll conclude here.
Yeah,
I think that was a good first discussion.
So, all in all, are theories killing Star Wars?
Yeah, I think they are. I'd be really interested to see what you guys think, because I know a lot of people in the Star Wars fandom. I know a few of our subscribers are big Star Wars fans, so I'd love to know what you guys think. If you just leave a comment and join the discussion, do you think that theories are killing Star Wars? Or films in general? If you're not a Star Wars fan, this topic relates to just the movie.
If you can relate this to whichever fandom you're part of.
Ben! Oh!
He's on that standing.
I shouted Ben and then Ben. Oh, that was weird.
And on that bombshell.
On that note, we need to get some blue tack. And leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe.
He was wobbling.
And subscribe to the channel, and I'm sure we'll be back soon to talk about more theories, topics, discussions, ideas. I say theories, we just talked about how bad they are. Let's talk about theories. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. May the force be with you. Meant to go that way.